So hi again, and thank you for joining me in watching this video. Today, I want to introduce Zoe Harris. Zoe is kind enough to give up her time today to talk about her journey from where she was to where she is now, and how her healing process and how her life has changed since coming to see me and starting this process. So when Zoe first came to see me, she was struggling. She felt very broken. She felt lost. She was struggling as a parent and really didn't have much direction, didn't know what to do. And so Zoe's now going to talk a little bit about how that's changed for her and where she is now. So let's introduce Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Thanks for coming along, giving up your time today. Really appreciate it. And you're going to tell us a little bit about your story and how you've progressed and advanced over the last year since working with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so before we start, then give us a little introduction about yourself and tell people who you are and what you do, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Zoe and I live in Braintree in Essex, and I've got 2 children and I've got a partner, and I'm a massage therapist, and I think I came to see you about a year and a half ago. So yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. So so you come to see me, and how did you originally find out about me? Because before you come to see me, we'd never met. So how did you find out about me and what I do?
Okay, so I was in a bit of a crisis, and my partner happened to just go on Facebook and saw Bobby's post.
Okay, Bobby, yeah.
Yeah, Bobby, and Jason was friends with her on Facebook, and then he said about, wow, this amazing healing, and I watched your video about the mind, and I was just fascinated. And yeah, and then Jason came along for the first session, told me all about it. It was amazing, and then I came along.
Great. Yeah. Excellent. And what did you like about them? What was it about the mind video that you loved so much?
It just all made sense to me. It just actually made sense.
Yeah,
just the way you describe the brain and how it works, and it just resonated.
Excellent. Good. Yeah, so I've since done a new video of that, which is released, which is doing its rounds, and I use that now for every client before they come and see me. But yeah, so you obviously decided they wanted to come and see me. So let's talk about, what were your problems? What was really going on for you? What made you decide to come and see me in the first place?
Okay, so the crisis that I was in was that my ex-partner, even though we split up 8 years ago, I still was having real problems, and I was really, really scared of him. And it's really affecting the parenting, because it's affecting the children, and being a mum is so important to me. And I just wanted to get this cleared so that I could co-parent and just be the best mum that I could be. It was just really affecting our lives.
Yeah, in what way in particular was it affecting you as to being a mum, and how was that affecting you? In what way?
So basically, I was just frozen with fear, which for me then manifests as depression. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even cook dinner. I just couldn't even function.
Right.
I just really felt like I was neglecting the kids and just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I just knew that something had to change.
And that had been going on for almost 8 years.
8 years, yeah. Plus in the relationship as well. I've been with him for 9 years. So what's that?
17 years.
Yeah, 17
total.
Years of living in fear and misery.
Yeah, and that's not good for anybody, is it?
No, God, no.
I mean, I also know that when we are in those relationships that don't work like that, that does manifest in sickness, illness, and disease. And as we know with Bobby, we've sort of narrowed it down that her tumor was basically down to a toxic relationship, and toxic relationships aren't healthy at all for us. So obviously you finished with him, but the remnants of that was still having control over your life.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. So tell us about the specific pain points. I mean, I know you just touched on them a little bit there. So it was like not being able to get out of the bed, not being able to cook.
Get out of bed. I couldn't even cook dinner. It's almost like the children were talking to me and I wasn't there, like not present. Whenever they needed me, I couldn't be there for them. Like if they were crying, I just didn't know what to do. It's like my head was so full of stuff, I just couldn't think straight. And my mum was really worried as well. And there was even someone who even tried to take the children away from me because they were worried. They would cross their boundaries and they're out of order. But everyone around me was kind of feeling it as well. And it was just building up and up and up.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where I knew I needed to get this sorted out. And I knew what the problem was. He was trying to control me all the time, and I needed to be able to stand up to him. And then and even my partner as well, he was getting frustrated because it's even affecting our relationship. So it's affecting everything. So
so that must have been quite a difficult time frame for you. Did you find yourself just like, spacing out and just not really thinking and not, just going off into your own world and shutting away and just...
Yes, well, what I did is I went down the spiritual route.
Yes, as we all do.
As we all do. Now I know that doesn't really help. But yeah, so what I was doing, so it made it worse. So not only was I not present for my children, But then on top of it, I was not even more present because I was chanting at the moon or going on to Zoom and doing these Zoom calls and doing all this stuff and just going off all the time and just doing stuff rather than being with my children, thinking that helps. But it actually made me further away from myself.
Yeah, it took you further away, which we found out over time, and was able to work on and bring you back to being you.
Yeah.
And that is the problem with these belief systems is that we think we're doing something that's going to help, or it changes it, but it generally doesn't. It makes us worse and takes us away. And then it takes us a lot longer to come back. And you know, and like I said in the previous video with Bobby, you know, I did the similar sort of thing because we're just looking for answers. So I sort of get where you were with that. Okay, so before you obviously decided to come and see me, you obviously tried other things. What other things did you try in order to help you become a better mum, to no longer feel lost and depressed? And what other things did you do?
Okay, so basically, I suppose I was just living in depression. So even got to the point sometimes where I put alcohol in my porridge in the morning just to get through the day. So I'd be having alcohol, I was smoking joints. So I did all that, knew that wasn't good and gave all that up round about the time I split up with my ex. But then I met these amazing people, and they're amazing people, but I then started going down the spiritual route. So we would be like doing chanting and singing, lighting candles, charting the moon, charting my cycle, doing creativity, and I was having massages, and these things helped, but then it always popped back up again. So every time I saw him, it would pop back up again. So I'd feel really good, see him again, it would pop, and I could see there was a pattern, something going on, but because I wasn't aware, I just didn't know. So all these things didn't really help, you know. So you're
just being triggered into the response as soon as you see it.
Exactly. So yeah, chanting, singing, moon, all of that stuff, meditation, yoga, all of it. And, you know, it helped a little bit, but it wasn't really helping, you know.
Yeah, because as much as we're taught and told, all of that stuff is actually a distraction. It's just actually doing something to take us away from our feeling. Yeah. So it's like a pendulum. Yeah. We don't feel very good in ourselves, and we think that by doing something positive and constructive, or not thinking about it, or putting it in boxes, or you know, or going for a walk, is actually healing and solving the problem. And it's sort of an illusionary healing, because actually what's going on is it just makes you feel good in the moment. And because you feel good in the moment, you're no longer feeling the thing that's actually that's really going on. And then when we then get back into the environment, or get back with the person, or see the person, we actually get back and we get triggered into those responses, which obviously I explained in that video. The video about the mind.
Yes, that was it. That's what I liked about it. It's a completely new way of looking at things, and part of me just knew that this was good. Yeah,
great. So you tried lots and lots of other things, and obviously none of them really worked, and so you come to see me. So this is probably what made you decide to come and work with me after the first session? Because obviously, having not met me and coming to me for the first session, there's a lot of information that I tell people, and it does shatter their belief systems. You have very spiritual, lot of spiritual beliefs, and you know, and unfortunately they were keeping you trapped. So when I come along and start telling you all of that, sort of not really helping, that can really challenge somebody, and they can tend to not go along with that, because it's very difficult for us to let go of things that we're so heavily attached to. So we think it's helping them. So what actually, after that first session, made you decide to carry on, and what did you learn?
Okay, so after I had the first session with you, I went home, and I think I saw my ex the following weekend. I just felt different inside, and what it was, I was standing at the top of the stairs, he was at the bottom of the stairs, he just dropped the kids off, and he said something to me, and I think it helped that I was above him, and I spoke to him in this really clear tone, really self-assured, and I didn't feel scared. And he changed, and since then he has changed so much, and even he can see it now. And I say to him, isn't it amazing, we can co-parent together really well? And he agrees. He even moved on, he got a girlfriend, which I never thought would happen. Even my family were like, there's something going on. It was just because I saw it with my own eyes. That's what it was.
So after the first session, you instantly saw a change in how you were with him. Your confidence, your strength, he changed.
And it was just natural, like breathing. Nothing was forced or rehearsed, or it was just natural.
Excellent. Because when we change inside, outside magically changes. I say this all the time. You didn't change him, did you?
No.
But he changed.
He just naturally changed because I changed.
I know. That's why it's magical in some ways.
It is magical. Yeah, when you see it with your own two eyes, it is just beautiful.
Great. So what did you learn?
What did I learn?
After that first session, I mean, there's a lot of information I talk about, and it must have sort of been taking you back quite a bit.
Well, so I learned it works, and I felt really good, and I felt really peaceful for the first time ever. I just felt like my mind had started to clear, and I just felt really, really peaceful.
Yeah.
And I felt happy, and I trust you, and I feel safe with you. So I felt like I could confide in someone that wouldn't judge me, and that just felt really good. And it's just become addictive, because with each session I'm feeling different. My life is changing, and it's going in the direction I'd love it to go in.
Yes.
You know, I'm so much happier, so much more peaceful.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
And so what about the people in your life, your old people? Because, you know, we tend to find that some of the old people drop away because they no longer serve us.
Yeah.
They're actually not, they don't help us, even though we think that, you know, we have attachments to people. They'll drop away and the new people come in. Has that happened with you?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, most of my friends were of the spiritual kind of nature. So those people have kind of fallen. They're still in my heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just don't feel that connect. I'm not with them anymore, if it makes sense, in reality. So actually, lots of people have fell away, and I went through this space where I had no one, and I felt
that's
like
that transitional period, which I said was going to happen.
And it was very painful, but it taught me to be very self-resilient, because you know, I felt like being no mates, but I thought, right, okay, just go deep inside. Just what can I do for me? So focusing on me and making myself happy rather than looking outwards to friends.
Yes.
And then actually I've realized I do like spending time by myself. I'm happy by myself, you know, and then when I meet other people, it feels more nourishing rather than a codependent relationship.
Yes.
If it makes sense.
Codependencies,
or
people pleasing
and things like that. So, you know, my relationships that I've got now are good relationships, really strong, and authentic. But I'm grateful for all the people I've met in my life. They've all helped me in some way.
They all get us to a certain point, don't they? And then sometimes we have to just let it go. I think it was a season on a lifetime. I can't remember the date now. Is it a week, a season, a month, a season, or a lifetime? Or, you know, people come into our lives. So I don't know what that actually is. I can't remember the actual statement, but it's something along those lines. But some people will have for a short time and medium term, and then some people have lifetimes. But those people get us to where we are. And although sometimes these people might have actually been detrimental to us, they've actually got us to where we are now in order to make a realization about ourselves, and it helps us to grow. And I mean, we should always look at everything in a positive way. Okay, so then obviously you decided to continue to work after me, after the first session. And so what made you choose to do that?
Just because of the way I felt. I knew it was working on some level. I did try and understand it. I remember really analysing and watching your videos, but then I realised that's really getting in my head and making up shit, and then I've just got to trust the process. It's taken me a long time, but just the last few months, I literally come to you with a clear head and just trust the process. So it's what I witnessed with my own two eyes. Just like, I've got myself a car, I've got a nice relationship, my children are happy, I'm doing massage, I've got clients, I'm focused, I'm clear-headed, I'm looking after myself, I'm happy. So that's why I keep coming to you, and
you just keep growing all the time.
Keep growing all the time. And the most important thing is I have inner peace. Like when I close my eyes, it's just silence. It feels peaceful rather than this monkey brain going round and round and round all the time, which will drive me insane. Just peacefulness,
which is really nice to know.
So
having worked with me and having done that now, what are the 3 benefits you've experienced in the time that we've been working together? Okay,
so there's loads of changes, but the 3 significant things that have been amazing are, first of all, is the co-parenting. So now I can co-parent really well. The second one is I had a clearing with you about my neighbour downstairs, and she moved out the next day.
We'll touch on that in a minute, shall we?
Oh my God. So that was that. The other one, I've forgotten the other one. I wrote it down. What was it? Oh yeah, and my hair. That was it. So when I gave birth to my first child, my hair started coming out, and that's why I've got dreadlocks to kind of like thicken my hair. But since that clearing, my hair started growing. You can't. It's magical. You can't describe it. So that's the 3 main things.
So let's talk about this neighbour. Because I've done stuff about law of attraction, and that we create our reality, and a lot of people think it's mumbo jumbo and nonsense, and I've done this for so many people. And you were one of the things that I actually did, that I use and talk about, because we were working in a session and you was having a real issue with your neighbour downstairs. They were they foreign? Were they
Polish people,
and they drunk all the time, and they made lots of noise and kept
fighting, just so much disharmony and upset. Really, really bad.
And what did I say to you was why they were there?
I can't remember.
I said you're creating that.
Oh, I'm creating it. Yeah.
Didn't I?
And I kind of knew that on some level, but I still wasn't sure. But then when she moved out, I was like,
yeah. So let's talk about that. So what happens is explain a little bit how that happened, because obviously you said to me about the neighbours, and I said you're creating that.
Yeah.
And then what we did is we thought about, when I said, when you think about your neighbours moving out and leaving, and we cleared all the responses. We cleared all the responses around your neighbours.
Yeah.
And because you wanted them to go, really, didn't you?
Yeah,
they were causing
I wanted
her
to go because they were unhappy. She wanted to leave. Well, she was going to leave, but then lockdown happened and it slowed it all down.
Yeah.
So then she was stuck there with him in lockdown. It made it even worse. So yeah, so I just talk a bit about what happened? Or? Yeah,
so just talk about, like, we cleared all of your responses to those down there, and then what happened?
Yeah, so I had the session with you. I think it was something like Sunday, and I think it was like 3 days later. It's always 3 days.
Always 3 days, yeah.
3 days later, I went downstairs to put my bin in the thing or something, and she was there with all her stuff outside. And I said, "Oh, are you moving?" She goes, "Yeah, we found ourselves a place. We're moving out today." And I was gobsmacked. I was like, oh, because they'd been there for 2 years, but she's been wanting to move out for a year. So it felt like it was never going to happen. And I just, 3 days later, I just couldn't believe it. And I was just so happy. And I was happy for her because she was unhappy. And it's almost like I changed, so she changed, and then he was happier. Everyone's happy. My kids are happier because I just said my kids. And you know, it works. It really works.
I know, it's incredible. People will find that very difficult to understand that we do create the value. I mean, there are people that wanted jobs and I've switched off the guilt of them having the job and they've got it the next day. So anyway, in 3 days they left, and you got your wish.
Yes,
your wish manifested. Okay, great. So that's great, and that obviously is a massive positive for you in your life. That does obviously help.
Yeah.
But so what's life for you? What's life like for you now? Right now, what's it like?
So it is. Life at the moment, I feel like I'm free. I'm in control of my life. I know that if I've got problems, I can come to you and get it switched off. I just feel peaceful and happy and trust myself, looking after myself properly. And
relationships with people are good?
Relationships with people are good because I feel detached from people now. I'd always make their stuff about me.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's about them, and I can see that. And I used to try and like preach to them and try and fix them and rescue them. Stop doing that now. So I just let them do their thing. But if they come to me, I will give them a bit of advice and say to come to you, like my clients I recommend to you and things like that. So I feel so much freer, so much more freer and happier. I really do.
And in control of your life.
In control of my life.
And all the negative stuff is no longer running for you now.
That's
absolutely awesome. It's so great because obviously when I see you, when you turned up from being the broken, lost, didn't know, to where you are now, to see it happen over time is it's great. It's great to see, and I'm so proud of you because you're one of the very few people that have, and I said this on a podcast last night, is that you don't miss a session. You religiously come every week or every 8 without fail for the last year and whatever it is. You haven't failed. You don't fail. And you're bang on time. You're here all the time. You've worked so hard, and you sort of deserve that happiness, really. And and there's not many people that do that. So I'm really proud of you, but I'm also proud for you because it takes a certain type of person to do that. Thank you. Well done, you. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, which is, what has surprised you the most since working with me and doing all this work? What surprised you the most? And what's made you the happiest? What
surprised me the most was the neighbour.
Yeah.
But also as well, one more thing I forgot to mention, because I'm a massage therapist, I always thought you had to work hard, do the marketing, do all the blah, blah, blah to get the clients. You don't. When you started clearing stuff from my mind, I started getting clients.
Yeah.
That was more proof that I don't actually have to do much when clients come to me because I want to earn my own money and be independent. Yeah. So that's been amazing. What was the other question? How do I feel now?
What's made you the happiest? What surprised you the most was obviously the neighbour and obviously being able to do get your business taken off without really needing to do anything.
Yeah.
But what's made you the happiest?
What's made me the happiest is, the stuff I've been clearing around my eldest being born to do with my hair and stuff.
At birth.
Honestly, the hugs I get from her now. I've even said to her, do you notice, sweetheart, that things are different between me and you? You're hugging me more. She said, yes, mummy. And I said, because I go and see Stephen and he clears things in my mind.
Yeah.
And even my mum's noticed I'm different with her. And just relationships mean a lot to me. So my dearest relationships are getting really good now, and that means so much to me, connection. But those hugs from my daughter, because I beat myself up about how I've been as a mother and everything.
Since you started seeing me.
Yeah. But even up until recently, we started clearing the stuff around her birth. I had a massive cry the other day, and I just literally let it all go. And I just feel really close to her now, and I know we're going to start clearing stuff around my youngest. And I just,
because you had quite a traumatic childbirth, didn't you, throughout the whole process, and I think a lot of women probably do, but they probably don't realise the effect it actually has on them, and also the relationship it has with their children. So so any mothers out there, if you did feel that, it can be actually healed and resolved, and there's proof that your relationship with your children get better once you clear the stuff. Okay, awesome. And so that's really beautiful, actually, that you've got a nice relationship, and that's growing, because it's important. Because I know mums and their children, it means so much to her, and my little boy, he means a lot to me too. But so okay, so let's move on. If you used to recommend your best friend to me, what would you say?
I would say, if you've got any problems, Stephen can heal it.
Yeah.
Anything. Because you've been through it all anyway, because you understand the brain so much, and you clear the beliefs, then you change your life. What you change inside, you change outside. So honestly, just, you're amazing. I can't really put more into words. And I tend to tell people about what I see with my own two eyes. I used to try and explain the brain and everything to them. People used to glaze over, but when I say how my life's changed, people are like, oh, you seem happy, maybe my life could change, so honestly, you could just heal anything. I
try to. I do try to. There's very few things that I don't, because once you understand what's really going on, there's only 7 things that create everything. And which is also, I remember you come to me when the lockdown happened. You thought you had COVID, didn't you? And you had all the symptoms of COVID.
God, that's right. That was this summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you lost your taste, and you're hurting, and you had you couldn't taste anything.
And you cleared all that. It was something got up my nose. I was angry, and you cleared it, and my sense of smell come back. And then my partner, who didn't have it cleared by Jonathan, took so much longer to heal because he had other stuff to do, and it's still not right now for him. But mine's fine. So it made me realise everything is down to what goes on in our mind.
Yeah. So you thought that you'd caught COVID, and because you had all the symptoms of COVID. And I think it took me 1 session to get rid of.
I think it was 3 sessions. It was quite a lot of stuff.
That was for the sense of smell. All the other stuff went in that 1 session.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, and again, I know you can't catch a virus, because my children get ill and I wouldn't, or I'd get ill and they didn't. I know you can catch a virus, but now it proves it, because a virus is about your body going to repair. It's a repair phase, part of your immune system. And coming to you has just made me feel really strong in what I intuitively knew what's going on out there. So so
you're no longer scared of the outside world, because the outside world's not a danger to you.
It's what's going on within. We can be dangerous if we're not aware of what goes within.
Absolutely, well said. We're danger to ourselves, aren't we? So there you have it. There's proof of that. And so in 3 words, how would you describe your experience?
What now? How I feel now? I feel really free. I feel happy. And I feel peaceful.
Beautiful. What way to be as a person. And is that what you want? Is that what you looked for?
Because if I'm peaceful and happy within, that's what I'm saying to my kids. They want to go away and do stuff and go on holiday. I'm like, can't we have our life as a holiday? If you've got inner peace, you don't need to go anywhere. Just having,
we still need holiday.
Still have a holiday, but you know what I mean?
And so finally, wrapping it up, what's it been like working with me? I know at times I've challenged you because of your beliefs, but what's it actually been like working with me? What is it like?
So first of all, I was angry with you a lot of the time because you was challenging my beliefs, and I found it really hard, but part of me knew you was right. So I had this inner conflict going on, and it wasn't until a couple of months ago when I thought, you know what, I'm not doing myself any favors, keep getting stuck in my head trying to work it all out all the time. Just trust the process. And since I've done that and trust you, I really do trust you, because you're very intuitive, and it's like you read me like a book. You're very good with people, and you know your stuff, and I really trust you. So first of all, it's hell. but now it's okay. It's good.
That's good.
I
Yeah.
enjoy coming to see you. So,
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and you've taught me so much, not just about clearing stuff, but you teach me about relationships and the or bed thing and all
below
sorts
the
of
line
stuff.
and stuff. Yeah.
That's it. You've taught me so much, because you also used to be a personal coach, didn't you?
Yeah, I do. Well, yeah, I mean, it's sort of all tied in the same lines. I don't really like to go down the coaching route, because a lot of the stuff they do deals with the wrong part of the brain.
Yeah.
And the thing is all the stuff they tell you to do. Now, if it was business, it would work, because business is just logic and process. But our bodies and our minds don't work like that. And so when you understand what cause and effect is, if somebody isn't achieving what they want in their life, then you just got to find what's the opposite of the pendulum. And find that and clear that, and then the person will literally get the thing that they want, and they're able to do that. So there's a lot of misinformation, in my opinion, about why people aren't successful and why they don't achieve what they achieve. And the problem is we're always taught to be positive thinking, to be a go-getter and make it happen. Well, actually, that's the problem, because now you're using force and energy. You're now forcing yourself on the pendulum, and the only result of that is the opposite of the pendulum. So I do try and help people where I can.
You do. You do. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, look, thanks ever so much for joining us. So I really appreciate you giving up your time. I'm sure the people that are watching enjoyed your story and what you had to say. So if you're thinking about healing any of your past events, traumas, if you want help with me in any area of your life, then please feel free to contact me. You can go to my website, which is www.healingthemind.co.uk. I thank you for watching this video. And so Zoe, have you got anything to say before you leave? No, great. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I've been Stephen Jakes, and ciao for now. Bye.